Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into one of the bedrock ideas in all of economics: perfect competition. Now, I know, it sounds a little bit theoretical, but trust me, once you get your head around this, you'll understand how every other kind of market works.
So let's just jump right in with the big question, the central puzzle, really. If you're in a market where you have absolutely no control over the price of what you're selling, how in the world do you even begin to think about making a profit? How do you decide what to do?
To get to the answer, you have to imagine this very specific, kind of strange world. Picture a massive farmer's market, stretching as far as the eye can see. And in this market, there are thousands of farmers, all selling identical potatoes. But this market has some very, very strict rules.
There are four big ones. First, there are tons of buyers and sellers, so many, in fact, that no single person has any real power. Second, the products are all the same. A potato is a potato is a potato. You can't tell them apart. Third, anyone who wants to can start selling potatoes tomorrow or pack up and leave just as easily. And last, and this one's a biggie, everybody knows everything. They know the prices, the quality, no secrets. These four rules together create a really unique situation.
And all of that leads to one single, incredibly important outcome. Every single one of those farmers is what economists call a price taker. Think about it. They can't charge more than everyone else because you just walk to the next stall. And they have no reason to charge less because they can already sell every potato they have at the going market price. They have to just take the price.
Okay, so let's zoom in on just one of those farmers. The market says potatoes are $10 a basket, period. That price is set in stone for her. Since she can't change the price, what's the one decision she actually can make that affects her bottom line? Well, the key thing to realize is this. For every single extra basket of potatoes she sells, the additional money she gets, what we call marginal revenue, is always just $10. It's not like the price goes down if she sells more. Whether it's her first basket of the day or per 500th, that one extra unit brings in exactly $10. And that gives us this really simple but incredibly powerful little equation. Marginal revenue equals price, MR equals P. Since you can't control the P, the only lever you have left to pull is the quantity. The whole game becomes about answering one question. How many potatoes should I actually grow and sell? All right, so how does our farmer find that magic number, that production sweet spot that's going to make her the most money possible? Well, it's not a guessing game. It's all about thinking at the margin. For every single basket she considers producing, she has to weigh a very simple trade-off. What's the gain from this one extra unit, that's our marginal revenue, versus what's the cost of producing this one extra unit, that's our marginal cost? Let's just walk through this, it's pretty cool. For that first basket, she gets $10, but it only costs $4 to make. Hey, that's $6 in profit. You totally make that one. How about the second? Still profitable. The third? Yep, adds $2 more. But keep going. At the fourth basket, the revenue and the cost are the same. Now look at the fifth basket. It costs $12 to produce, but she only gets $10 for it. Uh-oh, she just lost $2 on that one. That's the signal, right there. Time to stop. And that brings us to the golden rule for making a profit in pretty much any business. You produce up to the point where the money you get from your very last unit is exactly equal to what it cost you to make that last unit. You produce where MR equals MC. For our farmer, that sweet spot was exactly 4 units.
Okay, but let's be real, business isn't always booming. What happens if the market price for potatoes completely tanks and our farmer is suddenly losing money? Well, now she's got two very different and very tough choices to make.
Let's break these down. A shutdown is a temporary thing. It's like closing up shop for the winter. You stop producing potatoes so you don't have to pay for seeds and water. Those are your variable costs. But you still have to pay rent on your land. That's a fixed cost. You do this if the price gets so low it doesn't even cover the cost of the seeds for each basket. An exit, on the other hand, that's permanent. That's selling the farm for good. That's a long-run decision you make when the price is so low it's not covering your total costs per basket, rent and all. So, we've seen how one farmer thinks. But now it's time to zoom back out and look at the whole market again, over the long haul. And this is where we run into something that sounds impossible, the zero profit paradox. So here's how it plays out. Let's say the price of potatoes is super high, and all the existing farmers are making a killing. Well, word gets out, other people see those profits and think, hey, I want a piece of that. So new farmers rush into the market. But what happens when you get a flood of new potatoes? The total supply goes way up, and when supply goes up, the price gets pushed down. And it keeps falling until all those extra juicy profits have vanished completely. Which brings up a very logical question, one you're probably thinking right now. Wait a minute, if you end up making zero profit in the long run, why would anyone even bother staying in business? That sounds like a terrible deal. The secret is in the difference between economic profit and accounting profit. See, accounting profit is simple, money in minus money out. But economic profit is different. It also subtracts your opportunity costs. That's the money you could have made doing the next best thing, like working as an accountant. So when we say zero economic profit, it actually means you're covering all your bills and you're paying yourself a fair salary. Your accounting profit is positive. You're doing okay. So this is where the market eventually settles. In the long run, it finds this powerful, stable balance point, zero economic profit. It's the point where there's no big reward attracting new people, but it's also not so bad that anyone wants to leave. Now, at this point, you might be thinking, come on, this sounds nothing like the real world. Identical products, perfect information, and you're absolutely right. It is unrealistic. So why on earth do we spend so much time on it?
Because perfect competition is our ultimate benchmark. It's the gold standard for efficiency. It shows us what a market looks like when it's working, well, perfectly. Remember that golden rule, produce where MR equals MC? And how in this market the price is your MR? That means in the end you get a market where the price equals the marginal cost. And that little P equals MC outcome is a very big deal. It means that the value you, the buyer, place on that last basket of potatoes is exactly equal to the cost of the resources it took to grow it. Nothing is wasted. The total happiness of everyone in the market, buyers and sellers combined, is as high as it can possibly be. If you think of all the value created in the market as a big pie, this is the biggest that pie can possibly get. It finds the perfect balance, giving consumers low prices while making sure producers can cover all their costs. It squeezes every last drop of value out of the market for society. And that leaves us with one final big question to think about. If this is the peak of efficiency, the perfect market, what is it about the messy real world, things like brand names, advertising, new technology, patents, that stops this from happening? Answering that is the key to understanding all the other ways markets actually work.